now we've got Colin Blunstone with 1 Year. This is an album that I'm very familiar with. I love Colin Blunstone. I love the Zombies. He's got an amazing voice, and he's kind of easy on the eyes then too. So yeah, love Colin Blunstone. This is a really, really good album. If you like the Zombies, give this one a try, definitely. He, in my opinion, he made a lot of albums into the 70s and 80s, but to me they became so very adult contemporary, easy listening kind of a category. Not that anything's wrong with that or it's bad or awful or anything, but it's just, for me, it kind of went so far in a direction that I'm not really interested in. But this one, I think, had a lot of, it drew on a lot of the things that I love the Zombies for, I think. Really good songwriting. You've got Tim Hardin. You've got Argent and White from the Zombies. Rod Argent, Chris White. Denny Lane. His version of Say You Don't Mind. I mean, this album is fantastic. So if you've never heard it before, I highly recommend picking it up. I know they recently re-released, I think it was a Sunday's release, where they issued the album and the demos. The demos are, to me, the demos sound even better than the actual studio recordings. So I pretty much geeked out when we got the CD with the demos on it, because it's, you know, this record turned 50 years old this year. So it's so good. It's a record I think you could put on a rainy day and just really kind of fall into for a little while. Highly recommend it. Colin Blunstone, 1 Year.
Here we have Colin Bluntstone, 1 Year from 1970 on Epic Records. Colin, of course, the lead singer of the Zombies. This is the album he made after the Zombies had disbanded, and he made some singles under the name Neil MacArthur, and he worked in insurance for a while. I got this at Tommy's store in Cranford, probably, of course, for a good price. At the time, it didn't really click with me. I thought it was a bit soft and a bit, just singer-songwriter popish, but over the years, it has grown on me, mainly because of Hideelee, who is a huge fan of his voice. And like our friend Laura Taylor, I think she's a huge fan of his looks. A great album to relax. It's like a Sunday morning record to me. It's Sunday, you're relaxing, just enjoying a quiet day. You put this on to listen to. We recently got the 50th anniversary CD edition from Sundays we've been enjoying. This, like I said, this is an original on Epic. Colin Blunstone, 1 Year, 1970.
So we went from something I was very familiar with, I was so excited, to something I am not familiar with at all. This is a record called Boulder Dam, called Morning. Looks maybe recent. I don't know if it's, well, maybe not. These guys look a little bit 70s, in my opinion. But, yeah. Don't know anything about this. Boulder Dam.
Here we have Boulder Dam Morning, Morning. This is a reissue of a private press, great early 70s hard rock out of Florida, I believe. This is a reissue on Void Records from Millville, New Jersey. Really, really great record. I love, my favorite song on here is a track called Find a Way. But what I love about this record is the drum sound. I think it's got one of the greatest drum sounds on any early 70s hard rock record. Like I said, they were out of Florida. I don't know much about them. I think this was pressed up by a label in Florida that was not known for rock and roll music. I can't quite remember what they were known for. Something like, gospel music or something, and they ended up on this label through a friend. Yeah, Find a Way is my favorite track. Looked it up on YouTube. Great drum sound. I should listen to more of this. I know there's one very long track in here. It's called Dead Meat, which is supposed to be like some kind of like, they lump it in with like it being like a mini rock opera. But if you dig private press, early 70s, heavy hard rock, check out Boulder Dam Morning. Originals big bucks. This is a great little reissue I got on, believe I got this at Princeton Record Exchange. No sticky light on there because the new vinyl would get put in a sleeve and they put the price on there. But Boulder Dam Morning, I believe this is 1971.
Up next, we've got a double LP from the Graham Bond organization. One side has The Sound of 65, and this side has There's a Bond Between Us. Don't know a lot about this group, but
here we have the Graham Bond organization. Now this is a double LP reissue of both of their mid-1960s records, The Sound of 65 and There's a Bond Between Us. This is on another great one on Edsel Records. Of course, you know, if you're a fan of British R&B, the Graham Bond organization featured the rhythm section of Jack Bruce and Ginger Baker before Cream. Now, at the time I bought this, 89, 90, it didn't really click with me much because I was more into like Pretty Things, Stones, Yardbirds. I wanted fuzzy lead guitar, but this is organ-led because Graham Bond played organ. Now that I'm older, my tastes have matured and my mind has opened up. I enjoy it much better, mainly thanks to my friend Bill Luther back home in Jersey, who's a huge fan of this. Good gatefold cover. You can see the band there. There's Ginger Baker, Jack Bruce, Graham Bond, and horn player Dick Hexall Smith, who I just realized looks like Colin Robinson from What We Do in the Shadows. Some great originals. Of course, they covered great R&B songs, but they also had the poor taste for some reason to cover the song Tammy from the Debbie Reynolds film. But I have this one on CD too, but I hang on to it because I just like the full artwork like we usually do with albums. The other side. Edsel reissued this in, gee, it doesn't have a year, but the artwork was done by Ginger Baker. He was a graphic design student at the time, but they both albums came out in 1965. The Graham Bond organization, The Sound of 65, and There's a Bond Between Us.
another one here by Graham Bond. This one's called Solid Bond with, Graham Bond, Jack Bruce, Ginger Baker, Dick Hextall Smith, John Heisman, and John McLaughlin. I guess it says it's the historic 2-record set. So
here we have a compilation of Graham Bond and the Graham Bond organization called Solid Bond on Warner Brothers Records. I believe this came out early 1970s, not exactly sure of the year. And I'm also a little unsure of which lineups of the organization are on here. Some of it is post Jack Bruce, Ginger Baker, because it's recordings with John McLaughlin on guitar and John Heisman on drums, but I think some of it is also early Bond organization where Baker's on drums, maybe Bruce hasn't arrived yet, but they're all pictured in there, Bond, Baker, and Bruce, because there was a moment there where Bruce, you know, everybody knows Bruce and Baker did not get along, and in the middle of an organization gig, Ginger Baker jumped up from behind his drums and tried to stab Jack Bruce with a knife because he thought his playing was too busy. Don't think it's live stuff, it's studio stuff. I also have this on CD over there. Pretty good version of Green Onions on here. The song Walking in the Park, which was a Bond original that he also took on to other bands he was in, like, well, Coliseum did it, because John Heisman, the drummer on this, went on to Coliseum. Got this at Izzy's when I was an employee, so I did not pay full price, probably just I got a discount on it, paid cost, whatever Izzy's cost once. Or like he used to do this. It feels like $10. Take it off your pay. Graham Bond, Solid Bond, Warner Brothers, I believe it's 1970.
Graham Bond again, but this time it says Graham Bond with Magic. So it's called We Put Our Magic on You. I noticed the record's kind of splitting down there at the bottom. Looks like some kind of a horoscope kind of situation going on here.
Here we have another Graham Bond, one of his post-organization albums. Graham Bond with Magic with a K. We Put Our Magic on You. One of the few records I brought back from my trip to San Francisco in the late 1990s, early 2000s, when I went to visit my friend Robert. I didn't really find a whole lot of records out there, and this was one of them I brought out because I knew Graham Bond, but Don't remember much about it. Kind of boring. He's got another one on a Pulsar label around the same time. Graham Bond was not a mentally healthy guy. He eventually took his own life by throwing himself underneath a train at the Finsbury Park rail station. And his mental health, he just started getting into, like, you know, weird. In the late 60s, a lot of people started exploring other things like the occult and stuff. Like I said, I don't remember much about this. It's on Mercury Records. I think it's from '69. A bit of an astrology record. A lot of organ, a lot of congas and stuff. I think, like I said, I haven't listened to this since I bought it, and it's him and his girlfriend at the time. I think her name is Diane. It says most of the songwriting credits are Stuart Bond. I think that's this Diane in here. Just a really weird record. One day it will reveal its worth somehow, but I wouldn't say it's like something I put on a lot. Like I said, it was like one of the few records I brought back from the Frisco area. I think I bought it at that famous record store that's in Mill Valley, or was in Mill Valley, where people like Elvis Costello used to shop. Anyway, Graham Bond with Magic. We Put Our Magic on You, Mercury Records. I think it's 1969.
Bonzo Dog Band, The Donut in Granny's Greenhouse. Now, I have just probably dipped my toe into the world of the Bonzos, but everything I've heard I've really liked. So it's definitely a group that I need to just really dive into and check out more. I mean, everything I've heard from Neil Innes has been fantastic. And I did a review a while back of a Neil Innes solo record, How Sweet to Be an Idiot, and I loved it. So yeah, there's no excuse why I haven't really completely dove into the Bonzo's discography. I know John really loves them, and they just look, you know, Python-esque contemporaries of such. Here is The Gatefold.
Here we have the Bonzo Dog Band, a huge favorite of Hideelee and ours. This is their second album, The Donut in Granny's Greenhouse. In America, it was retitled I'm the Urban Spaceman and had that track added to it. You might be wondering, what does The Donut in Granny's Greenhouse mean? Well, that's like a British colloquialism, euphemism for the toilet seat in the outhouse. This is an exact reissue on the Edsel label. Not all of them on LP at the time. I have all these on CD now, the Chronology box set. I have an individual CD. I hung on to this because for a while, the track 11 Mustachioed Daughters on the album, it fades out, then comes back in. And on the CDs I had at the time, it faded out, and they forgot to add that little coda on there until Music from EMI did another reissue of it and remembered to keep that coda on there. And I don't know if anybody out there remember a little magazine called Ice, which was all about CD releases. I used to buy it religiously every month, and that's how I kept up on what was new. And I remember they had a column called CD Watchdog where people would write in with like problems they have with CDs, or why is this not on here? And I wrote in and said, you know, they left off that coda from 11 Mustachioed Daughters. And I forgot what their answer was. I just remember the guy from EMI saying, what do these people want? Blood? So my name was in Ice. Exact reissue on Edsel with the original gatefold with all the British eccentrics in there. And this guy over here was their bass player for a brief time. His name was Joel Druckmann. He came to England. He claimed he did time in A Mother's Invention, but there's no evidence to the contrary saying he was. But his thing, they sent him out into the street wearing this gigantic rabbit's head and a pair of dirty underwear, and he was interviewing people, and that's the interviews you hear at the beginning of the track, We Are Normal and We Want Our Freedom. And that's from that play book, the Marquis de Sade, but also I wonder if it's a dig at love and forever changes, because we want our freedom, you know, from You Set the Scene. Anyway, Bonzo Dog Band, The Donut in Granny's Greenhouse, Edsel, exact reissue.
And what a perfect record to show next, because this is what I should probably listen to. Just put this on and immerse myself in the world of Bonzo. Yeah, this is the history of the Bonzos. It's kind of a cool, oh yeah, it is cool. Gatefold. with a little booklet. It's kind of doesn't have a whole lot of content, but it's got like these little articles and things.
Here we have what for years is what the best Bonzos compilation, the History of the Bonzos on United Artists Records. This is actually from 1974, 2 LP set. It was a great set because not only does it collect a lot of prime Bonzos tracks, but also a lot of stray solo tracks by Roger Ruskin Spear and Neil Innes. I don't think it has. It has the Vivian Stanchel thing on here, Labiodental Fricative, which features Eric Clapton on guitar. I actually have the original U.S. single of that, record collector scum that I am. My favorite thing about this is this picture in the middle here. I just love how they take the piss out of the hippie thing at times. Can you spot which student has taken a mind-expanding drug? Stuff like that cracks me up because they would parody, the rock scene at the time, like with their classic song "Can Blue Men Sing the Whites," where they make fun of the British blues boom. Or I've seen pictures of them in concert where Neil is really blowing on a horn. He's holding up a word balloon that says, "I'm really expressing myself now." Stuff like that. People compare them to maybe they're like a British Mothers, but I think they're two different beasts myself. And Vivian Stanchel said he always thought Zappa's stuff was a bit harsh, even though he enjoyed it. But anyway, one of the better comps for years before all the CD reissues, the History of the Bonzos on United Artists Records, 1974.
More Bonzo Dog Band with Kingshum. And this looks really familiar. I feel like I've heard this album before, but I can't particularly pick out a song that, I don't know, but it's gatefold.
Here we have another Bonzo Dog Band record. This is 1969's Kingshum. This is the Edsel reissue with new artwork at the time by Vivian Stanchel. Gatefold cover with more, I think these are more new illustrations that he did for this reissue with the lyrics. The last Bonzos album before the 1972 Contractual Obligation reunion album, Let's Make Up and Be Friendly, I guess it was tough to be a band this creative and keep that going, and they kind of, I think, cracked under the strain. Probably my favorite of all the Bonzos records. Two of my favorite tracks are on here, What Do You Do? And the one which is like hideelee in our song, I Want to Be With You, a Neil Innes tune. Not much more I can add to this. That is a really great record. I love it. I kept this, of course, because of the unique artwork, which is not on any of the CD reissues. It's on Edsel. I got this at Vintage Vinyl probably in 89. Yeah, probably in 88 or 89, because I remember listening to this in my room. I have a lot of memories of listening to these in my room in the fall, where the sun is pouring into my window, and I lived near the football field in Rahway, and there was always a football game going on. You could hear the marching band music in the background, and I always be like, I gotta drown that out. But that's just a soft memory for me. Soft memory. Anyway, Bonzo Dog Band, Kingshum, Edsel reissue, unique artwork by leader Vivian Stanchel.
Here is a Bonzo bootleg that John got at Princeton Record Exchange. Looks like Bonzo Dog Band live in 1968. Nice little slap together Xeroxed cover. And no receipt, but this definitely is colored vinyl, which is always fun. This is really cool. This kind of reddish, pinkish marble.
Here we have another Bonzo Dog Band LP, this time a bootleg from who knows when. Got this at the Princeton Record Exchange. As you can see, one of their unremovable stickers on there, $9.99. This is mainly consists of Peel session recordings on some good red splatter vinyl. It's on Wizardo Records with a K. No track listing, but it's listed as live 1968, and I believe it's all BBC sessions, which are now available on various comps, including we saw there's going to be some huge Bonzos box set coming out sometime of all BBC stuff. Again, has my favorite picture on there. Can you spot which student has taken a mind-expanded drug? And also a picture where Rodney Slater's wearing a shirt that says "Lump It, John," which was some kind of dig at John Lennon about something he did in the press at the time. I don't know what tracks are on here. There's no track listing. I do remember there's one track which kind of like one of Vivian's spoken word things, and he's describing one of the Bonzos as self-titled Führer of North London, because he always made jokes about World War II having been through that. Anyway, kind of an obscure bootleg from the Bonzo Dog Band live 1968 on the Wizardo label.
Our final record for this set is from Boomerang. Boomerang by Boomerang, I guess. There's the back. The band. Don't know anything about the band, but I briefly at the little bio on here mentions Vanilla Fudge, and I know that John likes Vanilla Fudge, so I'm assuming that's why he has this one. Here is Boomerang.
Here we have from 1971 on RCA. This is the self-titled one and only album by the band Boomerang, which was the band post-Vanilla Fudge band of Mark Stein, who played organ in the Vanilla Fudge. Also was known for their guitar player, who was some kind of 16-year-old prodigy, but his name is Richard Ramirez. Isn't that the Night Stalker? The guy who was a serial killer? But it's hard rock. Kind of sometimes gets listed as early heavy metal. The one song that's most well known is a lead-off one called Juke It. Yeah, it says here, each musician within Boomerang is thoroughly proficient. Most amazing is guitarist Richard Ramirez, who joined the group a year and a half ago at the age of 15. I believe this is their only album. I just remember the track Juke It as being a standout. Don't remember where I got this. This may have been an eBay purchase, because I don't remember taking this home from Izzy's or getting it at a Tommy store or Princeton Record Exchange or anywhere else. So I think I got this on eBay. Boomerang, 1971 RCA, early hard rock post Vanilla Fudge album.
Okay, so there were the weekly 20 records from So I Married a Record Collector. Glad you stuck around, and let us know what you think of these records. Again, like, share, subscribe. Just let us know you're out there. Let us know what you think of the records. I know that right now we're going A to Z, but this is just A to Z in the cataloged section of the record collection. Eventually we'll get to other genres, and then into the massive amount of records that aren't alphabetized or put into the organized population. So that'll be really fun too, because it'll be really, really random and all different kinds of genres. So there's so much to go through, and I'm so excited to share all this with you. And I hope you enjoyed it. Again, like, share, subscribe, comment, let us know you're out there. If you collect records too, let us know about your station on YouTube or your channel. I want to say station because I'm old, but let us know about your channel. We love to see what you're into as well. So again, we will have a video out probably this weekend or coming up soon, depending upon when you're watching this and in what order I put these out in. But an introductory video where John and I are just going to kind of talk about why we're doing this and why we're here. But we'll do our best to kind of just let you know a little bit about us and a little bit about our tastes, and hopefully we'll start to run into more records that I'm familiar with, so I don't sound like such a doofus. But so glad that you're here again, and we look forward to seeing you again next time. So thank you so much again, and cheers.